What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're talking about Injustice, the animated adaptation of the Injustice video game and Injustice comic books. So, the overall story of Injustice, both the movie and the game, is simple. The Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane and his unborn child, and as a result, all of Metropolis gets absolutely nuked. This pushes Superman to cross the line as he murders the Joker, and then pretty much becomes a tyrannical tyrant, wanting to obtain peace by pretty much becoming a dictator and ruler of the entire Earth, until a small fraction of the Justice League, led by Batman, team up to try and take down evil Superman along with his faction of heroes that are on his side. So that's the overall story of Injustice. So let's talk about it. I think as an overall adaptation, I kind of like this animated movie. I thought it was actually really solid. I think it did a lot of things better than the games did, but it also had things in it that I wasn't too crazy about. So let me get what I liked out of the way first. Number one, I like the voice cast in this movie. Now, the voice cast in this movie is not as strong as the voice cast from the video games, but with that being said, I thought everyone in this movie did a fairly solid job. I liked Justin Hartley as the voice of Superman. I enjoyed Anson Munt as the voice of Batman. Jenna Verney, who did Wonder Woman, she was nice. She was a good addition to the role. She was good in her performance as well. And all the other actors, I thought, voiced their respective characters to the best of their abilities. Like, I have no complaints with the voice acting. I thought everyone played their roles really, really well. I think it would have been cooler if we would have gotten the original Injustice cast from the video games to do this animated movie. I think that would have been cool to itself. But for what we got, I thought every voice actor pretty much brought their A game to this movie. I didn't really see one bad egg, with the exception of Kevin Pollak, who played Joker, whose performance I was not a fan of. He tried to do Mark Hamill, but to me, it just came across as just really, really weird. Like, Kevin Pollak's performance as Joker didn't really sit well with me. I think it was the weakest performance out of this entire movie, to be honest with you. I thought the voice was really annoying. I thought his overall portrayal just didn't jive with me whatsoever. I think if you would have gotten maybe a Troy Baker or Jason Spizak, who would voice Joker in the original in the new 52 continuity of movies, I think it would have been much, much better. That's just me personally. Hell, I would have taken Richard Epcar, who voiced Joker from the video games, to return for the Joker in this movie. I thought he would have been great, but it is what it is. You overall got the point across as to what Joker and to Joker pretty much being the linchpin of the entire plot. I just thought you could have gotten a much better performance, and I just thought Kevin Pollak wasn't really right in the role as Joker. However, with that being said, I did kind of like Kevin Pollak as Jonathan Kent. I actually thought he was a better Jonathan Kent than he was a Joker. That's just my opinion, to be honest with you. I do like some of the utilizations of certain certain supporting characters. For example, I like Green Arrow in this movie. I enjoyed him all throughout. I thought the voice actor who played Green Arrow was actually really, really had a lot of funny quips, and his death I thought was actually pretty interesting. But they didn't give it a chance to really settle in, which I thought was kind of bad, which I thought was kind of dumb for me, at least. I would have liked to have seen. Green Arrow was pretty fun. It was pretty fun in the movie. He was like a main focal point as the majority of his scenes as him pretty much teaming up with Harley Quinn. Another voice I didn't really care for. The voice of Harley Quinn didn't really sit with me. Why couldn't we have brought back Tara Strong to voice Harley Quinn? Wasn't really a big fan of the actress who played Harley Quinn. But as I said, before I digress, a lot of Green Arrow stuff is pretty much him being a babysitter for Harley Quinn, and every so often he'll finally interact with someone better. But as an overall performance-wise, I thought Green Arrow, he has some funny moments to him. I also liked the voice actor who played Nightwing. I thought he was a lot of fun. The whole subplot of Damian accidentally killing Nightwing, I liked. The whole thing of Nightwing turning into Deadwing, I thought was very just random and convoluted and kind of weird. Though I do like how they handled Damian Wayne in this movie. I like how he accidentally kills Nightwing and he instantly feels remorse about it. And I like that Damian actually has a redemption arc, and you actually make his character kind of likable all throughout this movie, which is fascinating because Damian Wayne has a history of not being a very likable character. But I like how he wrestles with the regret of accidentally killing Dick Grayson. But I also like how, Grayson, he knew that it was an accident and that Damian didn't mean to kill him. And I like all that. I like Damian's redemption arc in this movie, especially at the end when he's fighting Ra's al Ghul and Nightwing helps him out in order to win. By a throwback to earlier in the movie where he tells Damian, "Hey, watch your footwork, watch your coordination." That stuff I did like and I did enjoy it. So Nightwing and Damian Wayne, their little subplot, even though half of it is kind of weird, I did like the majority of it on the Damian Wayne side. So I got no complaints with that whatsoever. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the utilization of characters like Mr. Terrific, who actually is a minor DC character, but in this movie, he actually gets to do a lot of stuff. He's actually very prominent, which is actually pretty cool because it's actually his idea to bring in a multiversal Superman to join the climax, which is a complete throwback to the video game. When you have good versus evil Superman, which I thought was handled pretty well, and which I thought was handled fairly well in this movie, even though evil Superman beats the holy hell out of good Superman the majority of the fight. It was not an even fight whatsoever. Evil Superman wiped the floor with good Superman. But I did like how Mr. Terrific played a role in this movie. Plastic Man, he was another highlight of this movie for me. I thought Oliver Hudson, who voiced Plastic Man, was really funny, and he had a lot of funny one-liners. I like the running. I like the stuff with him and Mr. Terrific, where they're trying to break a lot of villains out of a prison, out of an underwater prison, and Nightwing. And Nightwing possesses Cyborg in order for the plan to go to fruition. I thought that whole little thing was handled really, really well. Some supporting characters in this movie I thought were handled fairly well. I mean, and there are some characters from the game who are in this movie who are non-factor. Aquaman, who is very present in the game, he doesn't do anything in this movie. Same with Shazam, and I don't even remember seeing the Flash make an appearance in this movie whatsoever, which is a damn shame because Flash plays a key role in the games, especially when you get to the midway point where he jumps sides to Batman. Where was Flash in this movie? Why didn't we get the Flash? Why are Aquaman and Shazam playing relatively no role in this movie, especially at the end when everyone's trying to take down Amazo? I think Shazam or an Aquaman would have been beneficial. And we don't even get the whole subplot of Superman trying to take over everything, including Atlantis. That's not in this movie. This movie does a lot of condensing of the story, and in some aspects, okay. In other aspects, it's kind of sloppy because a lot of good things get left out, especially stuff like Aquaman and the killing of Shazam, which never happens, which is a shame because I would have liked to have seen how that would have portrayed in this movie, especially since, unlike the video games version of Evil Superman, this Superman kind of has a redemption near the end of this movie where he feels remorse for the things that he's done and he willingly goes to prison. That's another thing I think the movie got right. Unlike the video games, they just don't want to redeem Superman. They didn't redeem him in Injustice 1, and they sure as hell didn't redeem him in Injustice 2. This is the only version of the Injustice continuity that I know of where Superman actually had some redemption at the end of this movie, and it happens when he, comes face to face with Lois, and that's when he realizes, oh my God, what am I doing? What have I done? I need to face, justice for the things that I've done. He deserves death. Of course, Batman's like, no. You don't get off that easy. We're going to put you in a red sun prison, and if we need you, we're going to call upon you. And this is where Clark says, no, I don't deserve it. So I do like how this Superman does have a redemption arc, and he's going to face the consequences of his actions like a man. So I enjoyed all that stuff. I also enjoyed the stuff with Batman in this movie as well. And I like how we got to see Batman just completely break down once Grayson is accidentally killed by Damian Wayne, to the point where Superman goes to Catwoman and is like, he needs somebody. I can't do it because I can't do it, but he needs you. That's another thing I like about this version of the Injustice Superman. It's he's doing some dastardly evil things, but deep down, he still cares. especially about Batman. He still cares about his friends, and he still wants his, and he still cares about his friends in his own way, even though his views have become twisted and he just needs to get brought down. But you still see that glimmer. But he still sees the glimmer, which I do appreciate, and it does play a role in the end when he has his redemption arc. so I do like all that stuff. The things with Ra's al Ghul and Amazo, I was not a big fan of. I think that's just really shoehorned in this movie, and it pretty much takes away from evil Superman. Like all the time you wasted with Ra's and Amazo and the Justice League taking down him, you could have just had good Superman with Batman's Justice League going against evil Superman in his Justice League and having an all-out faction war like in the games, instead of shoehorning in this thing with Ra's al Ghul and Amazo, which just convolutes this movie when it doesn't need to be convoluted to that certain point. But yeah. See, like the Injustice animated movie is not a perfect adaptation of the games and the Injustice story, but again, to me, it does some things much better than the video games did, but it also has some mistakes. It also does things by itself that I wasn't too crazy about. But in terms of a sincere effort, I give this movie a lot of credit. It does stay true to the overall tone. I love the animation. This is a beautiful looking movie. I like the violence of this movie. That doesn't hold back. You see a lot of bloodshed, especially a lot of DC characters get dispatched really gruesomely, like Cyborg and Hawkman and Green Arrow. I like all that stuff. I mean, the exclusion of certain characters I wasn't a fan of, the whole Ra's al Ghul thing I wasn't a fan of. Certain elements could have been changed, and I thought it would be much better. But for what it is, I thought that Injustice was a very solid adaptation, and I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I liked it for the most part. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Injustice. Let me know yours in the comments sections down below. Like this video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.